Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Lauren. Thank you so much for being here. As you can see, today we're doing some eyeshadow palette decluttering. I have a lot of stuff here. You know, it's all spread out here, but this is, I don't even know, a fifth, a sixth of what I actually have to go through today. So that's kind of the task at hand. I'm going to be doing this randomly. I'm not doing like small or large. I heard you guys in the comments, and so it's just going to be all my palettes. I will probably split this up into two different videos. Oh, I should take this off because it's kind of annoying to see. Anyway, I'll split this up into two different parts. Again, it will be mostly random. And just to give you an idea of the mindset that I'm doing while I'm decluttering, I'm looking at each palette individually. If that color story inspires me, if I feel like I will get a lot of use out of it, do I want to use it? That's my focus. Like, do I love this thing? Do I want to use this thing? Does this thing bring me joy? You know, the whole KonMari type of thing. I also am going to have different categories because honestly, being a YouTuber is a part of my consideration for my collection, which I know isn't always the case necessarily, obviously, for people who don't do YouTube. So I'm going to have a pile for things that I'm decluttering and getting rid of and donating or passing on to people. I'm going to have a category that is like I'm decluttering / it's kind of on the chopping block, but maybe I want to make a video or have a video in mind using that palette, because I realized when I brought all these out here that there are some palettes maybe I don't want long term in my collection, but since I have them, I might as well make a video or something like that. And then the third category is going to be palettes I'm going to actually depot. So I don't normally do that. That's a newer thing for me, but I really do want to get as much use out of the stuff that I have bought. And since I am into single shadows, if there are some special shades in a palette that are making me want to keep the whole palette, but really what I want is like one or two shades, I still want to use those. And I think it would be really beneficial to me to depot them into a, you know, magnetic palette. Anyway, okay, let's get started. Like I mentioned, this isn't in any particular order, and you know, I'm a little nervous about doing this declutter. I hope I do well. I really want to be true to myself, but I also don't want to be like pressuring myself to get rid of stuff and then want to buy more stuff to replace those things type thing, you know what I mean? So anyway, first let's talk about this palette from Odin's Eye. They've sent me this. I'll try to mention if it's been sent. I think that this palette is super pretty, super unique. I love that it's small, and it's definitely something that is inspiring. Odin's Eye has a really great formula, and I'm so excited because you guys let me know that this shade here, which kind of looks like it might be a glitter, isn't. So I definitely want to keep this and use this. There are some, I mean, look at that. It's so, so pretty. So this I definitely want to keep. Next, this is kind of a weird one. But I'm counting it in the palettes because it is 3 separate eyeshadows. This is from Kaja. It's one of the bento boxes. This one's in the shade Hella Azalea. And this had been on my list to get for a very long time because everyone talked about how sparkly it was. And I don't know if it's just the shades that I got. I didn't pick this out. They sent this actually to me. And it's not ugly. I'm just not really inspired by it personally. So this is gonna go. I'm actually gonna get rid of this, which kind of makes me sad since I did want it for so long, or like one of these, but this isn't the one I want. And there's no reason to keep it just because it seems like it fulfills that. So that is going to actually get passed on. And that's relatively new and unscathed. Next, this is the Natasha Denona Bronze palette. I'm sure you guys have seen this. I've talked about it on my own channel. I have a couple different videos swatching it out. This I'm definitely keeping. I do like this. It's kind of one-noted, very, very bronze, but I do think that it's really pretty, and I do like the formula of Natasha Denona overall. So this one I'm also going to be keeping, and I bought this. This next palette is the Zulu palette from Juvia's Place. I have not used this thing in forever. I don't know why that is, because when we open it, it's really pretty. I especially love all these like matte shades in here, and I'm tempted to put this in the depotting section. This is pretty old. I've had this for, I don't know, 3-4 years at this point, so it's not like this fresh new palette to pass on. Sometimes with those, I'm more swayed to get someone else to use them, but I think these are the same size pans as my JD Glow, and I think some of these mattes would be really pretty to complement, so I don't know. I'm thinking right now that I'm gonna put it over there. I'm not sure if I'll keep any of the shimmers, but I think though I'm gonna put this into the potential depotting pile. I think that might be where I get the most use out of it, especially again, these yellows, the orange, this beautiful teal, and even these purples and pinks, even the brown. Like I'll probably just keep the mattes and pass the shimmers on. I honestly just really hope this is enjoyable because it's kind of a messy declutter. Like it's not easy to just be like yes or no. I definitely have a lot of like ifs, ands, and buts going on. So yeah, hopefully if anything you enjoy seeing what I have. Okay, next, this is a Charlotte Tilbury quad and this is the Bella Sophia. It's a really pretty quad and I do like these kind of luxury formulas, especially for like easy everyday looks. I have a video where I used a bunch of different Charlotte Tilbury makeup for the first time, really. And I loved the eye look that I created with this. So as much as this might be kind of boring or look kind of neutral, for me especially, I do enjoy this. So I definitely want to keep that one. I just can't believe how expensive those are. Yeah, this retails for $53. This retails for $65. And this is like, in my head, super expensive. This is like crazy expensive. Next, this is the Luster palette from Alter Ego. I believe this is a dupe of one of the Pat McGrath palettes. I'm not sure which one. I don't kind of like stay up to that. I'm gonna definitely pass this on and declutter it. I'm not inspired by this. Like, it's not that it's ugly. It's just not something I'm gonna reach for. I know that. And I was never even tempted by the original palette either. And so I just, it's new. It's fresh. I'm gonna pass it on and I think someone in my life will really enjoy this. Next is this Huda Beauty Neon palette. This is one of those 9-pan like obsession ones. These got very mixed reviews and I can understand why, but I am definitely going to be keeping these. I'm definitely into these more like sheer washes of color that I feel like this palette gives. It has some really beautiful sparkles, but also some really stunning and different mattes that I think are pretty. And I think I'm going to get a lot of use out of this. And, I want to keep this in my collection. I don't want to be tempted by another neon palette when I have this. You know what I mean? Like, oh, look at that. Just all over the eye. That's it. Maybe this in the inner corner or the upper brow. Honestly, I feel like when this came out, these full pigment cut crease looks were really popular. Whereas now I feel like washes of color are, and I think that this would actually do better now than when it came out, when it comes to like reviews and how people are using them. So this one I'm definitely going to be keeping. Next here is a palette from Sigma. This is the Ritzy eyeshadow palette. I was sent all of these palettes from them. So I have all the different colors. This one's very neutral. It's not especially warm or cool. And I don't know how I feel, honestly. I don't think it's like a bad palette, but the times I've done my makeup with it, I didn't really love it. So I think this one I'm gonna pass on. Yeah, I'm gonna pass this one on. I don't think it brings me enough joy to keep it. The swatches look really great though. I don't know. I just felt like I can never get this onto my actual eye. Another one I'm going to be getting rid of. This is from PYT. I got this in an Ipsy or like somehow as an add-on for Ipsy. And I was actually excited about it because it's like a little quad. It's a very light and kind of subtle situation. I just found, I don't know, like it looks so pretty here, honestly, for something, again, subtle. You're gonna get this from this. But I don't know. I'd rather use my Natasha Denona that I already have. I'd rather, explore those, use those, and I just wasn't impressed the time I did use it. So I'm gonna pass that on. Again, it probably will get some great love from whoever I give it to. People tend to love the neutral stuff that I pass on. So I'm sure like my mom even would love this. Next, let's talk about the Ace Beauté Oceanic palette. I love this outer packaging. I love how thin it is. Like, that is what I'm talking about. And then inside, this is a blue-green dream. I'm not super into completely monochromatic palettes, honestly, anymore. I know that was kind of like the thing for a while, and I'm realizing maybe I'm not as into that as I was, or I don't know. I like contrast. I like seeing the vision of a palette, but this one I think has enough light tones, deeper tones. Like I still feel inspired looking at this one. I also think that they've done such a great job picking interesting blues, like this kind of periwinkle and also a very similar kind of periwinkle shimmer. This kind of teal is beautiful. This is a very interesting teal as well. And so in that way, I feel like it still is interesting and inspiring. I love this kind of more limey green, but then there's this beautiful golden kind of olive. Like they've done an amazing job. So I'm gonna keep this one, still very inspiring to me and not something I wanted to pot for sure. Next, we have the Dose of Colors Marvelous Mauves, and oh my gosh, I don't know why I'm like sitting here tempted to keep this because I know I don't use this. I don't use it. I never use it. And it's, look at, it's so pretty. It's really pretty. The pigmentation's really great. I don't know what it is. And I kind of just like don't want it sitting, making me feel bad anymore, honestly. I think someone can get some amazing use out of this. It just, I don't know where I am in my life, and when this palette came in, I thought I was ready for it. I thought we could make a connection, but the connection is not there, and I never actually reach for it. So although I can say it's pretty and I can say I maybe want to, I never do. So this is gonna go and get passed on. Oh, I have to zoom out for this one. All right, here we are. This is the Glam Light Ice Cream Dream palette, and it's so cute. It has sprinkles. I love that. This is a bigger palette in my collection, but it is one that I full-heartedly do want to keep. It's a lot, and there are a lot of these bronze shades, but honestly, these are the ones I kind of love the most in the palette. They're so pretty. I mean, this is like a very creamy shadow. It honestly reminds me of some of the Adept ones in how it kind of is. A lot of these bronzy shades, but I love them. I love all these beautiful mattes. Like, I've just had great experiences every single time I've used this, and I do like that I can get a nice light, bright look or something kind of neutral, but again, it's neutrals that I reach for, like pumpkin, rocky road, pecan praline, peanut butter, strawberry cheesecake. All of those are neutrals that I would go for. Even butter pecan. I just love that just all over. It's a beauty. And French vanilla is such a pretty, like, shimmery white shade. I really like it. It's kind of flaky. So yeah, this is a definite keep for me. I want to bust that out more. Next, let's talk about the Blueberry Muffin palette. This is from BH. I was totally influenced by Angelica to get this palette, and it's nice. It's a very nice blue, mostly blue palette with some neutrals in it. I really like the formula that I found in these BH kind of square palettes. I've tried a couple more since this one, which you'll see either in this video or the next one, and I do really like it. So I definitely want to keep this as well. This still like inspires me and gets me excited. So this is staying. I also think that they're just so affordable, which is nice if you want a different option besides just ColourPop for affordable and yet still great shadows. Let's talk about this ABH and Carly Bible palette. This is one that I bought really at the beginning of the pandemic, and I do like this color story. I think it's a really nice mix, honestly, of like neutrals and colorful shades, but I just don't use it enough. I recently used it in a chopping block video, and really I've just decided it's time for it to go. It's not bad. I know whoever I pass this on to will probably get a lot of use out of it, will probably make some amazing looks and feel beautiful, and that's what I want for this palette. I want this palette to bring joy to someone else and get used and be loved, and so I'm passing this on. I feel like while we're here, we should probably just talk about the Jackie Aina palette as well. This is one that I think is so pretty, and for so many years I've just been like, it's such a great one, and it is. I really do like this, but again, I just don't use it enough to keep it. I feel like I don't want to depot this one because I think it's so pretty on its own, and I can see all the use that other people can get out of it. I think Jackie did a really great job with this palette and how she made it and the colors that she chose. Again, I think it's a great mix of neutrals and colorful shadows and like textures too. She did a good job with all the textures and everything, but it's time for me again to pass this on, be realistic, and let someone else enjoy it and have this beautiful palette in their life. So this is going. I know, guys. I know. If you guys want to know numbers so far, I'm keeping 7. I have 1 to depot, and I am getting rid of 8. That's pretty good. We're like half and half. We'll see how it continues to go, honestly. I'm going to do the rest of these ones I have on the side that were in the kind of front screen. So this next one's a Rowan quad, and I will be keeping this. This is the 1111 quad. I do like this for texture and for something different. It's a unique formula, and I think that it works really well for like single shadow or just like only building out with these colors, especially too if you like something that's kind of like messy and undone, but this is still very glamorous. It's still clean beauty. Like it's very editorial in a way, kind of, yeah, edgy while still being chic, and I do like that, and it does inspire me. And I'm really glad I picked up the 1111 quad out of all of them. I definitely feel like that's the one for me. I'm very much into these types of tones, and then it has this beautiful cool tone. So this I'm keeping. This little, like, it's not even a quad or anything. This is from Element. I got this from an Ipsy bag, and these are really pretty colors. I think that someone can get some great use out of them. There's nothing wrong. I have like 10 times better shadows in my collection that I would rather use if I was looking for a look like this. So this I'm gonna pass on. Yeah, I could get this beautiful, like, ooh, it's pretty, it's inspiring, but I have single shadows that I'd rather use than this. Next, this is the Club Nebula palette from Kaleidos, and it's in collaboration with Angelica. I am, of course, keeping this. I think this palette is beautiful. I did get sent this. I also bought it myself. This is definitely my type of palette. It has some really dark mattes that I feel like really help complete the look with some of these shimmers. So yeah, I have a video using this. I will try to remember to leave it linked. I am very inspired by this palette and excited to have it in my collection. Next, I have this other Kaleidos palette. This is the Futurism 6 palette Lunar Lavender. Honestly, I'm probably keeping all of my Kaleidos palettes. They inspire me. This one, I remember not like loving the shadows in this collection, but it's honestly been a while since I've used them. And what I love about Kaleidos is you can take out the pans, at least in these 6-pan palettes. So I really don't feel the need to get rid of these. I'm excited to have them, and I'm probably going to keep all of them. Since I get Kaleidos PR and kind of have since almost the beginning, when they didn't have as much stuff as they do now, it is one of the brands that I kind of like to keep a little bit more from so that I can have comparisons potentially or whatnot to help you guys shop. So this one I'm going to keep. Oh, okay, this one is hard. I don't know why this is so hard. This is from Fenty Beauty. This is a palette I slept on for a very long time, and I just think that it is so pretty and understated and very natural, and it might seem boring, but it actually is a nice one for like everyday type of looks. There are some different like textures going on. You can see that kind of like golden shade in the middle is super like sparkly. There's some beautiful like terracotta warmer mattes, some cooler mattes, things that would look good as like single shadow looks. Like it is just, it's honestly a really stunning palette. And so this is one I want to keep. I know it's weird. I honestly would have never wanted to buy this, but I got it through a BoxyCharm, and honestly, it's one of the ones that surprised me and makes me think like sometimes it's nice to take risks on palette or see, because this one's actually really good, and I feel like a lot of people didn't like it for some reason. Me included, okay? But that's gonna stay around. Next, we have another collab palette from one of my friends. This is the Ofra and Samantha March collection. I will also be keeping this. Honestly, I'll probably be keeping most of like collab palettes that I either got sent or bought from people that I consider friends on YouTube. So yeah, I'm definitely keeping this. This color here, it looks so understated, but on my eyes, I really like it for something simple. When you just want to feel pretty, you know, like sometimes I want to go all out and I want to have like the most beautiful, different eye look. And then other times it's so nice just to be like kind of simple and put together. I mean, I feel put together with color shadows. You know what I mean though. Okay, anyway, yeah, I definitely want to keep this. I also do work with Ofra a lot, so I feel like Kaleidos and Ofra are two of the brands that I definitely keep a lot of stuff from them, and that's just part of the YouTube side of it all for me. Continuing on, I have 3 different palettes. These are, I'll zoom this out a little. These are from Essence, and they sent these to me. You know, I didn't know what to expect when I got these, but they're actually really quite good. This is the Sleeping Beauty one, and I was just kind of shocked by the pigmentation and just the quality of some of these shadows. It reminds me of like ColourPop, honestly. I mean, they're just nice and pigmented. I could see anyone who like likes the color story being really happy with the quality of these. And so yeah, I haven't really played around with this one much. I kind of want to keep this around. It's kind of a fun, I know it's not supposed to be necessarily, but it could be like this emo revival to me because of these darker, cooler tones mixed with the berries and pinks. So I think I might keep this, but this is one that is like maybe for a video or to show off a little bit more in case you guys were interested. I'm not sure at this point if these are like long-term loves in my collection. And so yeah, this is kind of the example of that. And I think it's kind of interesting to see what palettes are that or aren't that for me, especially too when PR gets involved and it's not something that I purchased or maybe would have purchased. This is the Snow White one. This is another one that's really quite pretty. Again, very neutral. I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep this one. It's actually the one that I was using, and so quality-wise, I know that it's good. I just, you know, I don't know if I need this one. So I think I'm gonna pass this one on. And then we have the Ariel one, which is more of those coppery tones and like some pinks and corals going on. And again, really quite, oh, that one's so pretty. I probably could get some use out of it. I think I might pass this one on though. I think it's gonna go. I think someone else can use it more than me. Okay, let's look at this one again. I don't know why this one's calling to me right now. Yeah, I'm gonna put it into the that kind of side pile that I talked about where it's like chopping block slash maybe I have a video to film or I have an idea in mind and I'd like to make that happen before I just get rid of it or pass it on. So I'm gonna still put that in that pile. This is the first palette to go in that pile. But actually really impressed with the quality of those, and it makes me excited to see what else they come out with in the future because they were really quite nice. Next, let's talk about this Alamar palette. This is something that I really do like. I have a video on my channel showing this palette off, and I don't think I'm ready to like get rid of it. Like, I just think that this shade is so pretty. It makes me want to keep the palette. I also love this deep blue. And so I think this is going to be another one of those depotting palettes. I don't need all of these mattes necessarily, but I want this. I want this. I want these two colors. I think that they will enhance my singles collection. And to me, again, this isn't like a new palette. It's not like super fresh. It's kind of busted. I've had it for years. And so I think I can still squeeze a little bit more use out of this by making it work for me now than just completely getting rid of it. So that's what I'm going to do. Let's talk about another older palette. This is the BH Zodiac palette, the original. So not the love signs, not the whatever, fire loves. I don't even know what came out. I did at one point have the second one, but I don't have it anymore. So I must have decluttered it. This has been a palette that has kind of held my heart for a while. And you know, is just an example of BH doing awesome shadows even a long time ago. Forgive me for the stain going on with that blue shadow, but I still think that this is pretty. And honestly, I still want to use this. I love that this isn't like overly warm or overly cool. It's a lot of like a good mix of stuff for neutrals, for color. You could do so much, and I want to use it more. So I'm keeping this, you guys. This is still staying. It's still inspiring, and I do want to bust it out more. So I still want it. I still want to use it. I remember the mattes also being just like so great in this, so definitely keeping. Next, this is the At For a Sight palette from Raw Beauty Christie and ColourPop. This is one of my most recent ColourPop palettes that I bought, and I do want to keep this. Yeah, I like it. I also love that ColourPop, again, you can pop out these little singles and take them around, and I have a lot of these little singles in past palettes that I've had that I can switch out if I wanted to, and y'all know how I like to do that. So this one I'm definitely going to be keeping. I think it's so cute too. I do love all the imagery. Another palette I'm going to be keeping, this is the Mini Glam from Natasha Denona. This I think is just so nice. I am very tempted, honestly, by the Mini Zendu, I think it is, and the Mini Retro. I kind of want them because I love this so much. I love the price point. I just love everything, honestly, about this guy. So I want those little palettes. I think the color stories are pretty, and they keep nagging at me to get them. So anyway, I'm keeping that though. Not sure if I'll actually, you know, buy that, but thought I'd mention. Let's do a couple of these other Ofra palettes here. These are their little signature 5 pans. So this one is Symphony. I should probably honestly do all these together, but I kind of wanted each palette to be its own thing, so I don't know. I don't know what the right thing to do is. I definitely am keeping this. Is Sweet Dreams, y'all, and I love this. It is so pretty. It's like one of my go-to kind of terracotta colors. I love it. So I'm definitely keeping that one. I think that I can pass on this one, Symphony. I think this came out with their holiday collection, maybe. It's pretty and there's nothing wrong with the color story. I just think other people in my life could get more use out of it. So that one I'm probably gonna pass on. I'm gonna pass it on. This is the Galaxy, and I think that this is a really fun color story, especially I think for Ofra. They don't always do colors. I feel like they do neutrals really well. And I do like that. Oh, my hand was wet. I don't know. I feel like I haven't gotten the use out of this though. I'm gonna pass this one on. I wanna keep the Ofra palettes I really, really, really love because those are the ones that I would showcase anyway. Next, let's talk about this Odin's Eye Norns palette. This is so pretty and a palette I need to use. What am I doing? Like when I see this and I see that I haven't used it yet, I'm like, what am I doing with my life? Seriously, what the look? This is so stunning. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. The quality is amazing of the Odin's Eye stuff. Like if you like Kaleidos, I feel like you'd like Odin's Eye. They give me similar vibes in that they have a vision for their products. They have really cute packaging. I feel like their collections are interesting and kind of innovative in some way. This color story is very unique and a little bit different for me, but I'm excited for this. So definitely want to keep. That's what I need my feelings to be, huh? On everything. Yeah, that makes me feel like I should get rid of this. I'm gonna get rid of that too. Even though it's cute and good quality. That's not what it's about. It's just not right for me. It's not right for my collection. Okay, let's do a few of these Huda Beauty palettes. These are the Obsessions. We have like the Gemstones ones. This is one from the original launch of the 4, the Smoky, and I'm gonna be getting rid of that. It's pretty busted, and honestly, I don't reach for this, and I'm also going to be getting rid of the other ones too. You guys, this is one of my favorites, but the reality is I don't use it. The reality is I don't use it. And honestly, it doesn't inspire me that much, right? I don't know. I loved this as an inner corner. I don't know. Maybe I've just changed a lot since this was my favorite. There's nothing wrong with the quality necessarily or anything, but for me, it's just time. This is a beautiful palette. I'm tempted to keep this because the color story is so neutral and very beautiful. Like I could see myself doing a lot of fun, beautiful looks, especially during autumn, but I think that I have other stuff. So I'm gonna get rid of all 3 of those. I also have so many beautiful singles. I feel like I could recreate something like that if I feel I'm missing it. Let's just finish out the Huda palettes, you guys. This is the neon green one, and I was gonna keep this. I honestly was like talking about how it's so pretty, and it is. Some of these shades are so pretty, but these have like more hard pan than some of the other colors I've had, and there's not enough colorful mattes for me to keep it. I feel like if I'm looking for some of these really beautiful duochromes and whatnot, I have them in Cleona shadows that are so much easier to work with. So this one I'm so surprised by myself because this is the one I wanted so bad. If this had the Cleona formula in all these spaces with those mattes, this would be the best effing palette ever and like my perfect color story, honestly. But it's not, so it's gonna go. That one's gonna go. Wow. I honestly thought I was gonna keep all the neons ones. This neons I feel like I'm gonna keep. We'll see. Let's open it. Yeah, see, there's like more mattes here that then add some value. So even if some of these shimmers, you know, maybe I'm like, the mattes help me to be like, okay, well, there's still a lot of value in this palette that I can take away. My hand is wet, so don't mind that. But yeah, I'm gonna keep this neon palette. The staining is real, you guys. The staining is real. Okay, these are the last 2 of the Huda, and I think I'm gonna get rid of both. Like this blue one I've never used. I got this at like a Sephora thing. I've never used it. Like it's pretty. Some of these blues, stunning, but I have that Oceanic palette if I was wanting something that's like truly like blue and green. So this I'm gonna pass on to someone else. And then we have the purple palette, and I'm just not, I don't know. I don't want it. I just don't want this. I'm gonna get rid of it. I do like purple palettes, and I think purple is a beautiful color. I definitely have purples I'm drawn to and purples that I'm not, and that configuration just wasn't it for me. Next, I have this NYX palette. This is the ultimate, I think it's what, Brights? Yeah, I'm keeping this. I used this the other day. I used this purple as just a wash, and it was really, really pretty. I then topped it with some shimmers and stuff, and I just can see myself doing that with literally every color in here. I could see myself doing a wash of color on my eyes. So yeah, I think it's just so pretty. And honestly, this palette inspires me. Like this makes me want to try some different color combinations and see what I can do. So I like this. I'm keeping that. Next, this is the Tiny Marvels palette, and of course I'm keeping this. This is from Sydney Grace, and it's in collaboration with Mel Thompson here on YouTube. I think this palette is really beautiful, and honestly, the Sydney Grace shadows just, you can't, oh, I guess I don't need the Alamar. Okay, wait. Okay, guys. Well, I'm glad I did this because look at those. They're like the same color. They're like exactly the same color. Okay, I'm just gonna declutter this. If that's like my main reason for depotting it, it's like I have it in here and I wanna get more use out of this anyway. So definitely excited about that. The shimmers, I just can't. They are top notch, man. I think the mattes in here are neutral, but still kind of fun with some different colors, and I like it. I'm keeping it. This is a palette that is boring as heck, but I love it. It is the same color a million times with the tiniest differences, but I'm keeping this, and I actually get a ton of use out of it, and it's like the one I always go for a shimmery, easy look. I know this is boring, but that's the truth. That's the truth. This is the truth that I like this a lot, actually. And it's like my favorite tones, you know? Keeping. All right, let's do a couple more before my battery dies. This is the Urban Decay Stone palette, or Stone Vibes. I love this. I think that this is so pretty. This is like easy everyday shimmers to me, and I love that. I think that this is a really good palette from them. I like the mattes in here as well, so this is something I'm definitely going to be keeping. This is that Jubilee palette from Natasha Denona. I recently did a video where I was unboxing this for my BoxyCharm, and although I don't love this color story, something that's really awesome about these is that they have the backs where you can push out the shadows. So I will be keeping this for the packaging and for these shadows because individually they're pretty. Together, it's not my color story. I don't love this color story for eye looks, you know what I mean? So I'm not gonna go into it in depth because I already kind of did, but it's just hard for me to like configure that in my brain. But I guess this is the perfect time to bring out my other Natasha Denona palettes because it's part of the reason that I want to keep this is because I have these big guys. I got these for Black Friday last year and they're stunning. I really, really love them. It's the epitome of like this beautiful, Natasha Denona luxury formula that I think is really stunning, and one of those things that's like simple, especially if you're into, like I am, really shimmery and textured and all this stuff. Like I love that, right? Like the Odin's Eye stuff. But this is also really freaking pretty in a more subtle, chic, like classic chic type way, and I do love that as well. So it'll be fun to create my own 5 pans. I'm excited for that. So this is the blue purple, I think it is, but I do have also the green brown one. So this shade is one of my favorites just for all over the lid. So boring, so beautiful. But there's also some more text, like that's very textured. Oh my gosh, I will have a video coming, you guys, so you know. But yeah, definitely keeping all this stuff. I'm gonna take all these and just put them into these palettes and then probably have this 5 pan be whatever's inspiring me at the moment. Next, this is from Beauty Bay. It's the Pastels palette. A lot of you guys told me that this palette sucked, and so I was a little nervous, but I like this. This is like a great, for me, like inner corner palette. I don't know. It's what I expected, I guess, from the price. This is one I definitely want to keep around, and even if I didn't use it a bunch, I could see myself depotting these to use them as singles for stuff. So maybe I'll just depot it. Maybe I will just do that. I think this is gonna go in the depot because these are mattes that I could see myself being like, I want that in a matte, I want that in a single, all that. So yeah, let's depot that. That baby's going in the depot. Next, this is probably a newer palette for you guys to see. This is the Smitten in Switzerland palette from BH. I got sucked into this because of the fact that it was on a pretty great sale, and honestly, this color story is beautiful. Like, I think this is really pretty and a little bit more understated. I know some people are gonna be like, what? But I feel like these are as nice as like Natasha Denona stuff, honestly, y'all. And I think the color story is this perfect mix of like grungy, neutral, still colorful. I love this. This is giving me like I study at Oxford vibes, and I want to wear Oxfords when I have this and maybe a headband, you know? So I'm keeping this. Obviously, I just bought this, so I do want to keep it, and I want to keep using it, and I like it. It's pretty. Let me know what your favorite BH like square pan like this is. I know I said I was trying to go random, but I might as well finish off the BH Cosmetics square pan palette. So I have the Lost in Los Angeles palette here. I recently did a video using this, and I've really enjoyed it so far. The Hills is one of my favorite shades. It's pretty like chunky and kind of icy. As an inner corner, it's really pretty. I also just, I don't know, the mix of the shimmers that are in here as well as the different mattes colors in here. This is honestly what I kind of wish that Lorac I Love Brunch palette was. Oh my gosh, you guys remember my ranting about that? That's old. That is old. I think it's really pretty though. And so, yeah, for the price, the quality's great. I can't lie. I'm kind of partial to it because it's Los Angeles. And, you know, I love LA. So yeah, keeping that. Oh my gosh, the Abbey. Did you guys watch the show What Happens at the Abbey? If you did, I worked on that for makeup. Anyway, Okay, yeah, keeping that. I'm gonna do 2 more palettes and then I'm gonna cut it off and we'll do part 2. So this is from Ofra. This is the, what is this? I love this palette actually. Good to Go. This is a really nice all-in-one. I don't normally love like where it has highlighters and all the stuff. This one works for me though. Like I think it's so pretty because all of these can be used as eyeshadows. And so I feel like that's what makes it versatile. All of these can be different inner corner highlights, all on the lid, brow bone highlights, and then you have all the eyeshadows and you guys guessed it, these like shimmery, I love it. And I love the pop of mint, honestly. I think that it's stunning. I like this palette. I think it's really pretty and I want to keep it. Last palette to talk about for this video. This is the Persona Identity 2. I believe they sent this out to me. So this is what it looks like inside. I think that this is a really pretty palette. I did a whole video on it. I think the quality is really great as well. Like, I don't have anything bad to say. I don't know if I want to keep it though, if I'm being completely honest. There's something about it that I'm like, do I want to keep it? And I thought for sure was when I was about to pick it up, but re-getting into it, I don't know. I don't know if I want to keep it. It's so pretty, but I think someone else could use it more. I'm gonna get rid of it. I wish these were a little lighter maybe. There's a lot of really deep, beautiful jewel tones. Maybe if I had just a few more lighter shades, brighter shades to me, I think it'd be more my style that I would personally reach for it more. So that I'm gonna pass on. Wow, did not expect that. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed part 1. I'll give you a few numbers really fast. So far, these are the 2 that I'm going to be depotting, and so those won't be palettes really anymore. I have, I just counted it, 26, I think. Gosh dang. I have 28, actually, I just recounted. So 28 palettes here that I'm keeping. I feel pretty good about that so far. I mean, I still have about this many more that I've done right now to go through, but still. And then when it comes to what I'm getting rid of, I'm getting rid of 21 so far. So keeping 28, getting rid of 21. Pretty good. I don't know how the numbers are going to be in the next one, but hopefully similar, honestly. We'll see. I feel excited to pass on so many of these amazing shadows and also then get more use out of the ones that I want to use and do love. So hope you guys enjoyed the first part and I will see you in part 2.